state-of-the-art technologies, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on World Business Review with Alexander Haig.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Alexander Haig. Every time a purchase is made with a credit card, the merchant is charged a transaction fee. In the world of corporate air travel, these fees can account for almost $1.5 billion each year in the U.S. alone. Here for this discussion is Ralph Kaiser, President and CEO of Universal Air Travel Plan, or UATP. Ralph, we're delighted to have you.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Also joining us is Pascal Burg, Director of Edgar, Dunn and Company. Pascal, we're delighted to have you as well.
Thanks a lot, Al, for inviting us.
Good. Now, Ralph, could you please explain exactly what UATP is and how it works?
Well, UATP is a corporate charge product issued by airlines to their best travelers, that is the corporate traveler. And it was founded in 1936 as the world's first charge card. And it helps airlines save money on merchant service fees that credit cards charge.
Now, Pascal, as an expert in payment systems, exactly how do your corporations today and airlines benefit from products like UATP?
Well, let's talk about airlines first. In the US, every year, about $60 billion worth of airline tickets are purchased with a credit card, and that generates expenses for airlines. When an airline uses UATP, it enables them to have a lower cost form of payment, and that helps them reduce their cost of acceptance. As far as the corporation is concerned, when a corporation uses UATP to make a purchase of an airline ticket, they get much more detailed travel information. So for instance, they get information like city of departure, city of arrival, the airline that's been used to travel, and that is very useful information to manage their travel expenses. So it's a win for the airlines that has a lower cost, and it's a win for the corporation that has more detailed travel information.
I would just add, if I could, that UATP allows airlines to reduce the fare structures that corporations pay if they use their own charge product. So by using the airline's product as opposed to a competitor brand, airlines can pass some of that savings on to the corporations and actually lower their travel costs too.
Very good. Now, for more on this important subject, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
Recent changes in the travel industry have impacted both the business traveler and the airlines hard. After fuel and labor costs, distribution, which includes credit card use, handling, and delivery, is the third highest expenditure for carriers today.
Airline distribution costs are made up of a number of buckets. There are kind of internal costs for the airlines, and there are external costs. And today, the challenge for the airlines is that the group of external costs is rising significantly, and they need to get some level of control over these costs.
In addition, there is also the cost of using a global distribution system, such as Sabre, WorldSpan, or Galileo.
Global distribution systems are a critical component today in the distribution network, if you like. Global distribution systems support travel agencies, and travel agencies are today a critical part of the distribution network by providing the airlines with the ability to sell almost any of their products almost anywhere in the world.
There is one solution to lowering some of these distribution costs. It is called the Universal Air Travel Plan, and it goes back to the year 1936.
UATP started more than 70 years ago by American Airlines because you had to induce people to travel for business. And so the business model is give people a discount, let them buy their business travel in bulk, and get them on planes to fly. And it's a business model that has actually turned around and become very popular again in today's marketplace.
For World Business Review, I'm Jamie Mahler reporting.
All right. Now, Ralph, given the airline industry's cost structure, what makes credit card costs so important?
Well, credit card costs are part of distribution costs. And if you look at the airline industry over the last several years, you can see they've addressed some major cost centers like personnel, cost of airplanes, and fuel, none of which they can control very well. Distribution costs, things like travel agency fees, GDS payments, which are the global distribution systems that put out the information, and credit card costs are just now coming to the forefront because as much as the airlines have worked hard to save money, they still need to save more. And we play in the distribution arena because we help airlines mitigate those costs by actually lowering them to zero in some cases with UATP, or actually earning revenue on other airlines.
Well, now you again, Ralph. What's the difference between a cash rebate offered by UATP issuers and flight miles offered by other credit cards?
Well, UATP is a corporate product, so if the corporation is buying airfare in bulk from an airline, they're going to want a rebate on their total annual spend. Miles, we often see on other charge products, go to the individual traveler. And while you and I might like to have miles on credit cards, a corporation who's managing its travel expenses smartly prefers either to have a negotiated rate for a lower fare or a rebate, or perhaps they could ask for miles for the corporation, but mostly we see it in the form of a rebate.
Very good. Now, Ralph, what is your niche market today?
Our niche market is to corporations that are managing their travel expenses like they do the rest of their business. We see travel becoming more of a procurement function within airlines, and UATP in the industry is trying to educate corporations to buy airfare the same as they would, say, paper for a copy machine. And we'll invoice you once a month for the bulk sale of airfare. And it's very successful, especially now when distribution costs are so important.
And now at this juncture, gentlemen, we ask our guests to give our viewers a prediction of what you see coming down the road in the near term, next year or two. So we'll start with you, Ralph. Would you have a prediction for our viewers?
I would think in the distribution costs and travel payments, the costs are going to come down.
Yeah.
They have to come down for the airlines. And that's going to affect the other card companies, but it's also going to benefit the consumer. When we see card companies that also operate travel agencies that kind of control the market, we need to see the airlines use alternative forms of payment like UATP, PayPal, Bill Me Later, like Pascal mentioned, in order to kind of offset and create leverage against those ever-rising costs.
All right. Now, Pascal, what is your prediction?
My prediction would be that at first electronic payments in general will carry on growing. Currently, 85% of airline tickets are paid for with an electronic form of payment, mostly credit card. But I think there'll be less and less cash purchases and less check purchases. So that's good news for the card companies in the first place. But within that growing cake, I think that there will be an increasing share of the alternative forms of payment because airlines are experimenting with new forms of payment. And my forecast would be that in the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see a growing share of the likes of PayPal, electronic checks, and debit cards, and so on.
Very good. Now, unfortunately, the clock tells me we're going to have to terminate this very important discussion. But before doing so, I want to thank you, Ralph, for your very fine contributions today.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
And Pascal, your help was also invaluable.
Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us.
Good.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Alexander Haig.